What's up, y'all? My name is Dylan, aka Dillo. You may or may not know me from my time on TGLC. And not too long ago, I was in your shoes. I would see all these crazy tumblers and I would think, I really want to do that. Fast forward to now, I'm able to do majority of the flips and tricks that I wanted to do as a kid. So now be mindful that I've been tumbling on and off for about a decade. The only issue with my tumbling was that it was completely self-taught for the most part. I've never been spotted on a skill, never had a private, so I didn't really know how to get better other than what I knew in my brain and what I thought was correct. I really wanted to make TGLC, but in order for that to happen, well, I had to get better. And in a year's time, I went from not having a whip double to competing a double whip double. So in this video, I will be giving you the tips and tricks as to what I did to get to where I am now. So grab your paper and pencil, take some notes, get some popcorn, and enjoy. All right, y'all, throughout my journey, I have learned so much. And one of the biggest things I learned is your mentality. And I know it sounds very cliche, but your perception on things do matter. And I think that's what set me apart was I believed in myself so much and I thought so highly of myself. And it may sound narcissistic, but that's how you get better. Everything I said, I truly believed that I was actually gonna do it. And I still think like that. Everything I say I'm gonna do, everything I wanna do, I really think it's gonna happen. I really think it's gonna come to me. And that's the first step to getting what it is that you want or breaking past that barrier of doubt is truly believing and truly understanding what it is that you wanna do and believing that you're gonna get it. My goal before coming on TGLC was to compete a double whip double. I was supposed to be in co-eds this past year. I wasn't supposed to do a double whip double. I was supposed to be in co-eds and full whip double and simple stuff. We already had 5 people that was gonna do a double whip double in the routine. He asked, does anyone wanna do a double whip double or does anyone have a double whip double? I didn't say anything, but I knew I was working towards that skill and I knew I landed it before. And Dominic, my best friend Dominic, actually said, Dylan can do it. And Coach Victor was like, you wanna do it? I was like, yeah, sure. So now I was put on the spot, but I knew I could do it and I believed that I was gonna do it. So I got to the point, everyone was watching and I was put on the spot and I did my first not my first, but I did a 2 to double with double and I did it in front of everyone. And that's when they decided to put me in double with double. It was the first step to the goal that I had and I competed the double with dub that I wanted to do. Now, this is how you should be thinking of things when you tumble. So when I tumble, I do get scared sometimes, but especially when trying a new skill or learning a new skill, it gets frustrating and it gets a little scary. So when I'm learning a new skill, even now I'm still working on some skills right now, say I don't land it. A lot of people's initial thoughts when they don't land a skill is, oh, that was scary, I can't do it. But especially if you land on your hands and knees, that's not the way to think. If you're close to it, you have to think, hey, I'm close, let me try again. That's how I tumble, that's my thought process. Whenever I fall on a skill and it's on my hands and knees, I was like, oh, I was pretty close. Let me try again, let me try to, fix it. I can do better, let me put a little more. But a lot of people, they shut down after they mess up, and that's why they get scared and these mental blocks start to happen because they don't believe in themselves anymore. I think the biggest thing in tumbling is mental blocks, and the only reason why people get mental blocks is because they're not prepared to do a skill. Because there's no reason why you should be scared to do a skill that you have properly prepared yourself for and have done all the right drills and the right progressions leading up to the skill. I personally don't believe in mental blocks. I think that you're just scared to do a skill. And mental blocks, creating this false notion that you can't do it is just gonna make the skill 20 times harder, is gonna make it scarier. So if you feel like you can't do it and you feel like you're scared of it, you have to work your way up to the skill so that you don't get scared of it. Thinking about the grand scheme of the skill makes it so much scarier. And a tumbler that told me that was Liam Potolsky, one of the best tumblers I know. And I remember I was working on my double with dub, and he's like, you're not getting to the last double because you're thinking about it. And the moment I started thinking about my first double, then thinking about staying tight in my whip, that last double, I didn't even have to think about, it just came naturally. You can't be the best athlete if you don't think you're the best athlete. You can be realistic with yourself without being negative. Don't say I can't do it when you haven't tried. It's I can't do it yet, but I will one day. For the longest time, I always thought I was way better than I actually was. I wasn't that great before. I always thought I was the best. And now I'm better than I thought I could be. You should be excited because every day you get to tumble, you get to do this, you get to do the sport that you love. The moment you start, overthinking, getting scared, it's no longer fun anymore. Mentality is, one of the biggest things that I wanted to touch on before I moved on to the actual stuff that will, really help you physically. Now, the second thing I had to learn was technique. There's a lot of self-taught tumblers out there. I was self-taught myself, but it's very, 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 very easy to skip over some things. It's very easy to miss some technical parts or not learn the basics. Here are some very common things that I had to learn as an athlete, and there's some common stuff that I see when doing privates or teaching some tumbling. I see this all the time, and it usually happens in younger people. First thing is understanding angles. If you don't understand angles, it's gonna be hard to control your tumbling. I had to understand my angles and body positions so I can ultimately go where I want to go and do what I wanted to do. That way I have control over my tumbling instead of my tumbling getting out of control and being scary. Everything matters, from where your chest is positioned, where your arms positioned, where your head's positioned, where your feet are positioned. All of that matters. For example, skills that require you to go backwards and stretch it out, be nice and long like a whip or a back handspring, you need to have your chest up, your feet in front, right? Because with that, it's gonna shoot you backwards and stretch you all the way out, which is what we want. With the proper stretch in our tumbling, we actually get way more power. That's why you notice, those power tumblers, they do, very long whips, very stretched out, very powerful whips. Then, if we wanna go up, we have to angle, our chest is still up, but our body's still angled. So your chest comes up, but your hips also come up, but your feet is behind you. And that blocking angle, that divot that you're trying to hit, boom, it's gonna shoot you up. And when you get your hips up, you're actually gonna get the height that you wanna get. And the power tumblers do that as well. Stretch, stretch, stretch. At the very end, boom, very deep angle. Then they're able to get as much height, and you'll see that they fly so high in the air. And that's how you do it. Especially those skills where you wanna get a crazy amount of height, you have to hit a deep angle. So that's how you really control your tumbling. If you're trying to do a tuck and your feet's way in front of you, you're not gonna have a high tuck, right? And if you're trying to do a back handspring and your feet's behind you, your back handspring is not gonna be long and stretched out. It's gonna be too high, then you're not gonna be able to do anything out of it. Trust me, angles will save your life. They've saved my life because I used to have the worst knee pain and the worst shin splints. And the reason why I was getting that was because I was hitting all of the wrong angles, and that was putting stress on my knees, my calves, my back. All of it hurt. And eventually it caught up to me. Learn to keep your body tight and squeeze your hips, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your lower half, because that's gonna help to do all the work for you when you're tumbling. That's how you save your knees. That's why I got a lot of problems with my knees, jumper knee, because every time I bounded and hit, my knees would be bent, and it would hurt, because all that means all the weight and all the power is going to your patella in your knee, and that's why people get that knee pain. The moment I started squeezing my glutes, my hips, my lower half, and I was doing my double dub, it would float like air. It would feel like I was just tumbling on air, and it would get so much speed, so much power, and that's what you need to aim for when you're tumbling, is to squeeze and be tight. Also, the spring floor is there for a reason. It's there to give you a boost. So if you're punching with your knees bent, it absorbs all the power that you're supposed to get from the spring floor, and it actually kills your power. You're never gonna bend your knees on a trampoline, right? Because if you do, you're not gonna bounce as high. Same thing applies on the air track, same thing applies on the spring floor. Staying tight so that the springs can do its job and actually, propel you upwards and give you the amount of height and power that you're wanting to do. That way you don't have to do all the work. You actually do less, but you get more. Right, next thing is to copy technique from other tumblers that you look up to, really good tumblers, and be a student of the game. Especially with my standing fulls, I wanted them to be so high and so fast, like Tumbling D. So I would literally watch Tumbling D and it would break down what it is he's doing. Now, he has very strong legs. A lot of tumblers have very strong legs, but you have to work on that. And I remember I would just try to position my arms like him, position my lower half like him, and just make sure I'm doing everything that he's doing. Even Liam, like I watch Liam when he tumbles. Yeah, I see him all the time, and I'm like, okay, he keeps his legs tight. That's how he gets proper stretch, and that's this is how he's angled. And I copy those tumblers and I steal it. Be a thief for good technique and apply it to your tumbling. Because that's if that's what they're doing to be good, why shouldn't you do it? Next thing is just being in the gym and working on everything all the time. You're never gonna get anywhere without consistency. I have big dreams to make it in the acting world, make it in the film world, get my brand good, big and going, but that won't come if I'm only working on my goals every once in a while or when I feel like it, when I'm motivated. Find that discipline within yourself to get better and keep working on it every single day. And not every day has to be a vigorous amount of training, but if you just implement a little every day or some every day, sometimes more than others, you will get better. I didn't get better till I was in the gym every single day. And that's when I started learning new skills. And you'll notice a lot of people, that's how they get better. I've never done a private. I've never been spotted. I've been spotted once. I fell on my face, and that was the last time I've ever been spotted in my life. I was 9 years old. To get there, you actually have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to do the work on your own. You know, a lot of kids that I work with, they only get better when they're with me. And I'm like, you have to do the workouts at home. You have to do the drills at home. And I give drills that you can do at home. There's so much you can do at home. And if there's not a lot of space, you can do a little mini workout. Do handstands on the wall every day. That's how you get stronger. That's how you get better. And just a little bit every day is going to get you somewhere instead of doing nothing. You know? So if you want to get better, if you want to be the best, it's all going to depend on the amount of work you're putting in and the amount of effort you're putting in and the consistency you have putting in this amount of effort. Kobe Bryant, you know, one of the best basketball players in the world, his work ethic was insane. He was first one in the gym, last one out. He was always working, always trying to be better at the game, but basketball was his life. And that ultimately took him so far in that sport. So if you notice that all the best are putting in so much work, if you want to be the best, why aren't you doing that? And that's something I had to realize, that if I want to be known as one of the top tumblers, I can't get there just thinking about it. I can't get there, you know, saying I want to do it. You have to start taking action. So really be a student of the game and really, you know, be consistent. But at the end of the day, also know your limits, and also be safe when doing this stuff, because it's easy to, you know, end your career over something stupid. You can take time to just work on technique, easier skills, and just perfecting those instead of doing something extreme until you have someone there that can help guide you, or you have a safe spot to do it. But don't just go out saying, hey, I'm gonna just try a triple on concrete, because that's insane. Next thing is, I want you guys to understand that not seeing progress doesn't mean that you're not progressing. So I recently had a private to where she did really good one day, and then the next private, she wasn't doing nearly as good as she was. And her mother actually texted me and, you know, said that she was a little down because of that reason. And, you know, let me read the response I gave back to her. I said, I think a common misconception that a lot of people have when they're trying to progress is that they have to see a difference every time. I do not think that it is always the case, because even though you may not visibly see a difference, you may actually be getting better. I said, a lot of people forget change takes time, and there may be a day she comes in and she, you know, exponentially becomes better than she was the past week. I said, that's how progression works sometimes, and I hope she realizes that she is still getting better. You know, I said, I also think it may be a little frustrating for her because she has a goal to get this back handspring and to be able to do it at school cheer, and because she has this expectation for herself, she's downplaying the progress that she has made in such a short amount of time, which I think she should be proud of. Granted, she started working with me maybe this summer, and she didn't have any knowledge to her back handspring. Now she's basically doing it on her own on the cheese mat, which is a big step up. You know, granted, she wasn't even there before. I understand that even if it doesn't feel like you're getting better, you are, because you're doing an extra rep that you didn't do the day before. I said there's been times where I had a terrible tumble day, and then the next day I'll get like 4 new skills and I'll have the best day ever. It just depends on your mood. It depends on how well your body is rested or how you're feeling. There's so many factors that can contribute to having a good or bad tumble day. And I said, but not every day you go to tumble you have to get a new skill, because when you set such a hard and high expectation, you get disappointed in the result that you didn't get. If I do one more rep that I did last time, or if I push myself harder, or I fix something that I didn't fix last time, that is a step in the right direction. Even if I'm not doing it the way I wanted to do it yet, I'm making the right steps. And guess what? The next private she came, she was basically doing it on her own. I think I was just holding on to her, on her shirt, and she had probably the best time ever. So it happened. She was doing it on flat ground, by the way, as well, and not on the cheese mat. So sometimes you need those bad tumble days to, you know, get you up and make sure that you do better next time. Or you really step back and evaluate your tumbling and really see, like, what didn't I do this day that I need to add next time? And maybe you just might be tired. You didn't get proper rest. You know, that stuff matters. Before I go on to the next part, I want to announce the sponsor of the video, which is Full Out. It is my brand. I hope you guys can support me. I'm going to play the teaser right now. Check it out. I was once a basketball player.
I ain't never stopping, I'm gon' elevate. I ain't never stopping, just gon' elevate. I ain't never stopping, I'm gon' elevate.
Then life took a change. What was once countless hours on the court turned into countless hours in the gym.
looking good in my suit. No, she wanna take on miles in the city when I'm driving, but it's not a race. I got miles in the city, know they love me, but can't see my face. Always feeling safe, cause I pray, gotta keep your faith. I'm just trying to go and stack it up, I need to elevate. Always on the game, play 2K, I like every day. Cabin for the fame, what a shame, tell like what you make. Pulling up my mask, feel like him, hey, I got two faces.
All right, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed that. So if you guys are learning something, please, grab a shirt or something. It will make me feel very happy. I'm trying to get somewhere with this brand, and I want it. I can really see it going somewhere, and I think the message is great behind it. So it's just to practice how you perform and to go full out in everything you do. All right, now on to the next step. Now the next thing is you have to be able to carry your body weight, because as a tumbler, the only weight you need to be able to carry is your own. One thing that helped me with that is calisthenics. Calisthenics are great because it helps you build the real strength that you need for tumbling. Bodybuilding and weightlifting, it's good, and you can if you're trying to put on muscle, but tumblers, they need that calisthenic experience. That's why a lot of gymnasts, they're so strong and they can hold up their body weight so easily on the rings, which is incredibly hard to do, but it's gonna make your tumbling so easy. Stuff like handstands, push-ups, sit-ups, and to work on your core, those leg holds, isometrics, plyometrics, all of that plays a factor in improving your tumbling. I do a lot of push-ups, I hold handstands all the time, and it has honestly made me a stronger tumbler. I'm not saying that you have to do one-arm pull-ups and one-arm push-ups, but you need to be able to carry your body weight and have that fundamental gymnast training. Next thing is not only conditioning yourself, but conditioning the skill. To condition the skill, you have to make it harder. That's why people plateau all the time, is because they get the skill, but that's the furthest they can push it. Just like in weightlifting and whatnot, you have to add a progressive overload. So if I'm doing a certain amount of push-ups and it's too easy, I can do 100 flat, right? But I want to be able to get stronger, and 100 is too easy, I will put a weight on it, because now I've made it harder for me to do. So now when I take it off, I can probably do 200 flat, you know what I mean? And I know I'm exaggerating it, but that's the idea behind it. Adding weight to what you're doing, or making it harder, tumbling up an incline, that'll really help you make your tumbling better, because when it's on flat ground, you're gonna be soaring. And that brings me to my next thing, which is understanding progressions. Progressions is a great way to understand the skill and break down the skill instead of just hopping into it. I know Coach Vic, he loves his progressions. We did so many progressions, and I think that's why we were able to be successful at the end of the day. A lot of people just like to throw the skill instead of learning and understanding how it's properly supposed to be done. All right, and we are on the final thing as, how to become a better tumbler. Making sure you're getting good rest and taking care of your body, because I can't stress how many athletes are not able to continue the season and not able to progress properly because they get things like cramps or they injure themselves, and that just all comes with how are you taking care of your body. I mean, I had a pinched nerve, like I had to stop cheering for 00 this year because I had got a pinched nerve and in my neck, and continuing to do stuff on it and continuing to make it worse, it put some stress on my shoulder blade until I wasn't able to move it. So now I really can't stunt, and now I really can't tumble. At the end of the day, your body's a temple, it's all you have. If you don't take proper care of it, you're gonna be detrimenting yourself. And I see a lot of people, they're wearing knee braces, they're wearing ankle braces, but they're not willing to do the work to get it better. And it's only gonna make it worse. And it's just sad to see, because I know they wanna be in the routine, I know they wanna get there, but if they don't do the proper steps to make it better, they're gonna have to forcefully stop their season. Like, their body's gonna make them stop. And one thing we gotta understand is, I know we're pushing for our coaches, I know we want to be the best athlete we can for our coaches, but we also have to put ourselves first at the end of the day, then the team, because without you being great, how can you help the team? I see this happen to so many people, and it's sad because they'll be like, I wanna do an extra rep, or the coach will put pressure on them to do something, and like, okay, I'll have to do it because I don't wanna disappoint the coach. But now you do that extra rep and you tore your ACL, you tore your meniscus, now you're out for the season. You can be replaced. They can get an alternate, they can change the routine, do whatever they have to do with you not there, but life still goes on. You come back and you're not the same that you used to be, and it's so sad to see, but you have to make that smart decision, be a smart tumbler, be a smart athlete, to push yourself, but not push yourself to the point where you break. Make sure you're stretching, because I'm a victim of it as well. I don't like stretching, but I'm starting to have to, and I'm starting to like it a little more because it's starting to allow me to be less restricted in movement. Ice your body, use heating pad, do the physical therapy, I guess you could say. Like, do it at home, work on your health, work on your strengthening, so that you don't have to go through these issues. Coach Victor actually taught us this pyramid. There's a pyramid that all athletes should follow. This also applies to tumbling, stunning, basketball, track, swimming, tennis, golf, whatever you want to do. It's just resting and recovering. If you're not resting or recovering properly, you can't get efficient work. You know, your body, your leg still hurts, you haven't recovered, you haven't iced your leg, you haven't put a heating pad, whatever you need to do. Second thing is eating and hydration. You know, how you eat matters. I know we love, I don't know what we be eating. Chick-fil-A, I'll never give up Chick-fil-A, but you know, you gotta, I eat it in moderation. I don't eat it too much now, but you gotta start eating healthier foods. Like, implement fruits into your diets. Like, stop busting down on candy all the time. Like, you gotta start being healthy, because your body needs that for energy. That's how you fuel your body, and that's how you become healthy. And you know, I didn't start realizing that till now. You know, I'll get a bunch of pimples on my face, or I'll feel weak, but I didn't eat much. I didn't, you know, get something that's gonna help me feel energized. I'm tired, I'm thirsty. I remember one day my eyes were bloodshot red because all I drank was lemonade. I didn't drink no water all day long, it was lemonade. And they're like, you look dehydrated, like your face looks kind of pale. And I'm black, so why is my face pale? Now, the next thing on the pyramid is strength training. Like I said, calisthenics is all you really need. You don't need, you know, especially younger kids, you don't need to be lifting weights. Do your push-ups, do your sit-ups. Make your body stronger. Like I said earlier about the progressive overload and just making skills harder, that's how you get the strength for these certain skills, because sometimes you can do the skill but you're not strong enough. Next thing on the pyramid is technique. Learning technique, just doing drills, watching videos and studying, being a student of the game, like I said earlier. And then the last thing on the pyramid is the skill itself, right? And when we go through these steps, right, we can complete the skill. But you know, a lot of people like to flip the pyramid over, right? And they just try to do a skill, but we can't do the skill if we don't even know the proper technique for it. How can we learn, you know, proper technique and we're not strong enough, you know, to even work on it, or we haven't even strengthened our other skills? So then people aren't strong enough because they don't eat right, or they don't drink enough water, you know, they're not getting enough sleep. So that's why it's important to follow that pyramid and make sure that you're doing things efficiently, so that when you get to the skills, you don't have to worry about everything else. But you know, people start to do the skills and their technique's bad, so their skill looks bad. Or they get to the skill and they know how to do it. Maybe their technique's good, but they're not strong enough. I got something coming soon for you guys outside. It's in my brand, but it's really good. It's gonna be a really good tool, so stay tuned for that, because it's gonna help you keep track of everything. And you guys will become better tumblers when I release this tool for you guys. You know, because I wanna see y'all, you know, succeed. I wanna see y'all, you know, get better. I think this sport has so much potential, you know, to be something, and it's so overlooked, but the opportunities that stem from it is unmatched. I mean, you could really go to college for this, and you know, a lot of people don't have a way there, but this can be your way. And you know, there's so many ways to be big in this sport, and it's a sport that not many people take advantage of. But I think if you can capitalize off of something like this, you know, you can really get there, because you know, this is a great skill to have. Not many people can do that. If I was able to get to the point that I am now, given how I started, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to, especially since, you know, some of you guys have a head start. This is stuff that I wish I had the knowledge on a little earlier, but you know, now that I have the knowledge, why not share it with you guys? So you know, you guys are all capable of amazing things. I got so many big things coming soon, so I just hope you guys, you know, stay tuned. I hope you guys support the brand, and I got so much more content for you guys lined up. And you know, if you have any video recommendations, or you want to learn something, or have any questions, you know, put in the comments down below. Be sure to like, please subscribe, because I got more bangers coming, and I love y'all. So keep going full out. See ya.